Hello friend and welcome to a new Let's Play of Allied General, one of the oldest World War II turn-based, hex-based strategy games in the book. I've been wanting to do this LP for a long time actually. I already was thinking about it several years ago. And yeah, I finally felt like actually going for it here. I know this might not be the most sought after LP or anything like that, but yeah, there's actually nobody who's ever LP'd this game on YouTube, so kind of felt like giving a throw at it, as this is a war strategy game channel anyway. So let's get started here, and we'll go over the briefings. Basically, the way I'll be doing this is I'll just be playing through the missions, and then basically at the end of each mission, I will go through the lost text and what will happen with decisive victories, minor victories, etc., etc. So I'll also show that off as a little bonus afterwards, because just like with Panzer General, Ally General has a very specific way of playing in that you might want to get a minor victory or a loss in certain missions in order to go through all of the missions in total. Because what might happen is in certain scenarios you might find yourself getting a decisive victory and then you're skipping a lot of missions. Like what would happen in Panzer General. If you won Moscow in 1941, they would immediately kick you to Washington in 1945, which would, give you a lot of trouble because a lot of your units would be under strength, etc., etc. Whereas you would have been better off going to Stalingrad, Kharkov, Moscow 43, and only then going to Washington. We have something similar here, actually.
Sir, as you well know, since September the Italians have pushed as far east as Sidi Barrani. Whilst they may have suspended their advance, their presence remains a threat to the stability of the region and to our reserves of petrol. High Command has instructed us to proceed at top gear with the resources we have to hand and dislodge the Italians from their Libyan colonies.
Alright, so let's get started here. In Sidi Barrani, the first mission, we have to oust the Italians from Benghazi. If my intel is correct, we have 6 turns in order to get a decisive victory. And a decisive victory here will always take you to the next mission. So I believe you don't have to worry about anything here. This game works a little bit different from most of the other games, as you have much less possibilities of taking actions back. You really have to plan out what you're going to do here. For example, once I move this infantry, I have to attack immediately. If I think about attacking later, I can't. So once I move, I have to attack, and I cannot see the combat odds currently. What I can do is I can move and then decide to attack. I can now still take it back, but if I let go of the unit, I can no longer take it back and I can no longer attack anymore. The same applies for things like moving, stuff like that. Once you let go of a unit, it's game over for them. It's kind of like as if you would be playing chess, Once you touch a piece, you have to move it. At least I believe that's how it works. People seem to make up their own rules in regards to stuff like that. Or like once you've let go of a certain piece. Yeah, that's the thing. Once you let go of a certain piece, it's game over. So that's basically the way it goes. The same applies here. You can see the combat results all the way down here. It's pretty hard to see at that because it's a pretty old game. I'm playing this on Panzer General Forever. I tried doing this on the original game, but it doesn't have sound effects. So the problem with Panzer General Forever is it doesn't have the cinematics for the attacks, and then if I just play the regular Ally General, then I don't have the combat sounds. So yeah, that's the problem with playing old games like this. Either way, we'll just have to make do, I suppose, as it always is. Let's just see here, and you know we're gonna have to deal with this Italian AB 40 any which way. So defender 5 losses expected. That's okay. Well, the artillery here does go in support of units like this. That's why me attacking this anti-tank gun gives me attacker losses 3, defender 0. You can also see that the enemy has entrenchment, and we would be working with the same in different areas. So that's also something to be considered about. Now, I can use both of these artilleries to shell the Italian 75mm gun, then move forward and attack that. I could be doing that, but let's see here, because both of these 25 pounders, let's shell it first. That's an excellent result. Now, the Italian artillery, the 75mm gun, has only 2 range, which is why it doesn't fight back compared to my my 3 range unit. So now I can just go in with the infantry and kill it, hopefully. Sweet. That's very nice. Like I said, we have 6 turns here, so despite what you might think, I do believe 6 turns might be a pretty tight clock, but we'll see. Now, this is an 0-3. As you can see, now I can no longer move with this artillery. That's kind of the problem here. It's once you're done with a certain unit, you're done. So if I do any movement now, I have to attack, and the same applies to units like this. The thing is, moving with the artillery for this turn is very likely not going to work, but I would like to also attack with these. I'm quite confident they can get into that hex. So what I want to do is, yeah, I'll shell them anyway. Just to lower that entrenchment a bit too, get slightly better combat odds. Moving with them. Yeah, because then I can move this infantry 1 hex further up potentially after killing these. The one other thing to keep in mind potentially, well, they might retreat if I attack with them, and then I cannot kill it. Exactly. One thing that's important about this game too to note is that the enemy can build a lot of units around cities where none of my units is present, and that's something that you saw in the original Panzer Corps as well. Like, you get the enemy spamming tons of units at certain locations if they have enough prestige, and I believe that's something that they do in this game too. They certainly did do that in Panzer General as well. So those are all things that you should keep in mind. I don't think these guys will go out to attack the artillery, by the way. So I'll go after the recon here. Down to 2. Let's see what we can purchase for 211, because if I can buy an artillery, those trucks are pretty expensive. I have 211 and it costs 216. Technically I could buy a 25 pounder, and probably that's for the better at the moment. I can always upgrade it later. Upgrading in this game does work a bit differently than in the older games. I don't believe you get a penalty for upgrading it in a particular way. So I'll buy that artillery now and end the turn. Now here it might even be that they still bought something like this in Italian infantry. I'm not completely sure, but we'll have to see. Either way, the Matilda has... I want to see how much movement it has. It has 3, whereas the Crusader... Or this is a Crusader, right? Called Mark III. Units also work with ammo in this game and fuel, so it's also, you can resupply your units here. You can see that, and your units work with that too. But because these guys have more movement, I'd rather use them to kill that unit, because it's already tough enough as it is here. Now, let's see, because unfortunately these guys are also in an entrenched position here. I would really have to oust them from that. That's pretty rough. These guys are at that too. But I also kind of want to start moving around. Feel like these guys cannot even get onto this hex. We'll see. Because moving is actually quite troublesome here. And this is not a good result. So there's always going to be on artillery that cannot move. I am, however, quite blessed with good combat results here. Sweet, that's very good. Push forward as much as possible. I still cannot easily move around here. What's your defender? 6 losses, attacker 1. So those are actually already pretty decent odds. Let's struck movements. If I move, do we get the same loss as expected? Yes, we do. Interesting. Because I kind of need to beat them before doing anything else. What about you? Also good losses. I wonder why. Are they just that weak? They have soft attack 5 and my unit has soft attack 6. I'm actually surprised, but they have 0 initiative and I have 1. I guess that's the most important thing here. What I'll do is I'll actually shell with you guys and then move in here. That's a bit weird, I know. Now let's see. That one a bit worse than I might have hoped for. But let's at least take the brook here. Now move you forward, kill them. Shell them. Move in here. Move you and attack. They can't move a whole lot. but it can't be helped, and I don't think I can buy even like a bridge engineer. I could buy an infantry. Bridge engineers tend to be by far the best units. It's always super weird. This was the same in the Panzer Corps 2, or in a Panzer General. You basically wanted only bridge engineers for infantry. So I guess I'll save that prestige then. None of my units can move, I believe. No, they just repaired that guy. Another thing that your units have is that you need to get them out of trucks and things like that. Which might also seem a little bit weird, but let's go here, attack him again. The thing that's a bit tricky here is that let's move in here by truck. So hopefully, even if they have a unit here, most units have 2 spotting, I believe. Yeah, so if they have a unit here, which they are likely to do, then it won't be a bother yet. But that does tend to be pretty risky. And also because we only have 3 turns after this. But they didn't do anything for now. Now, let's... Oh, okay. They're immediately right next to infantry here, and they also have an M13. As I said, if you click away, you can't attack anymore, so... What I want to start doing is shelling this guy here. Move up. Artillery cannot shell after attacking or after moving. So moving here is fine though. And they got trapped, so they surrendered. That's good. Move the other artillery. Alright, that's turn 4. It would have been very nice to have been able to move a unit in there. Because... I do have artillery in the back, so... I guess that got killed. Now, technically, they can move through the mountains and attack the artillery. Would be taking tremendous losses against these, I guess, because again the artillery is a problem. This is also a 105mm, which has 3 range, but I guess it'll be completely suppressed. Anyway, let's get you out and attack this. Move in with the Crusader. Now, as of that tank, I'm actually quite surprised. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna attack these. And then move in here. So I can get that Matilda clause. I'm actually quite surprised as of... This guy's actually quite powerful. I'll actually give them replacements. End the turn here. That's very weird that they did that. They bought a new artillery. Stuff does tend to be kind of weird. Let's attack that. I think they'll surrender here. Now none of this infantry can just go in there, so I need to push these away. Alright, turn 7. Now at this point, I can take it. Apparently, it's still a major victory. So in these games, you always have a major victory, minor victory, and loss. So I guess getting it on turn 7 out of 10 is a major victory still. I guess I'll go back to whatever I thought. So yeah, that's the first mission there. And we'll go, and I want to see if I can save it here. Yeah.
Sir, High Command extends its congratulations. The Italian Comando Supremo expected a swift resolution in this theater, though not this particular outcome. This decisive victory over a sizable Axis force bodes well for the future. They say we must remain vigilant, however. Reports indicate that Jerry is about. In the past weeks, he has established a considerable presence in the west near Elagela, and will no doubt launch an offensive in the near future. I suspect that the German general will not be so feckless as his Italian predecessor.
Alright, that was it for the first episode. Now for the, let's just say, bonus content. There we go, minor victory, turn 8. Let's see what the general or commander has to say here.
Sir, the work was against the collar, but High Command acknowledges that we have made an auspicious start. They say we must remain vigilant, however. Reports indicate that Jerry is about. In the past weeks, he has established a considerable presence in the west near Elagela, and will no doubt launch an offensive in the near future. Not to worry, though. German armor should be no match for British steel.
And as you can see, this is also the Sidi Barrani mission, I believe. Anyway, basically we'll have to fight to capture Mersa Brega and Elagela, which will not be easy. Anyway, now for the loss.
Sir, with respect, sir, this letter has just arrived from High Command. In your ineptitude, you have managed to suffer a defeat at the hands of an impoverished, ill-equipped, and uninspired adversary. Circumstances demand the withdrawal of your remaining forces to assist in the struggles in Greece. The defense of the Middle East will be consigned to your subordinate. You are to assume command of the ammunition depot in the Hebrides, Scotland. Let me take this opportunity to state that it has been a pleasure serving under you, sir. The best of British luck to you.
Ammunition depot in the Hebrides. Wow, that's pretty sad. Anyway, yeah, loss in this campaign just means that you get kicked out immediately because, well, they don't expect you to lose this mission as it is. Yeah. All right. Anyway, on with that decisive victory to Sidi Barrani.